Let's hope one of the merchants here has what Gav needs. Excuse me.
Oh, well, then I'm your man.
A silver chocobo feather.
Oh, or maybe not. Though you're not the first to mention the bird around here. There was a man stopped by the rest not long ago claiming he was attacked by a silver chocobo near some guide hovel not far from Eastpool. Most took him for a braggart and a liar, but who knows? Perhaps there was some truth to his tale.
We'll see.
Ok, je pense que le sauto, il marche track automatiquement, je pense.
Whoever's idea it was to take those bears.
Look, Daddy. Shiny, so bright.
I've got a few rooms going spare now.
In Martha's Rest.
Just because the heavens have gone to Rackaroon, it don't mean we have to.
How do, traveller? You've the look of a man who could do with a new wet.
I'm looking for a
That's the. No one has seen. Word is they were all hunted for their. If any are still out there.
You're probably right.
I've got greens of all shapes and sizes. Colours too.
It doesn't still hurt, does it?
Can I help you with something?
You wouldn't happen to sell silver chocobo feathers, would you?
I deal in fruit, not fancies. But if it's fancies you're after, I suggest you try Rhiannon's ride.
Was a silver chocobo seen there?
Oh, yes.
It wouldn't be the first. A silver chocobo sighted in the hills near Rhiannon's Ride. It sounds almost too good to be true. But it's in some morning. Here. Let's go.
Can hardly make it.
Tracks. They're not left by bandits for a change. More tracks. And these look fresh. The chocobo was here. And... I don't hear anything.
Well, pero vamos a la prueba.
Well, I'll be damned. It's all right. I'm not going to hurt you.
Il y en a deux.
Just borrowing a feather for my friend. Thank you. Let's get this back to Gav before they change their minds.
It was no trouble.
Clive, how'd you get on?
Any luck? He's...
Crystals crack. Where in that?
It's a long...
Right there on the road to Eastpool.
Everything up there's been the empty cabin made for the perfect shelter.
Don't blame yourself, Clive. The Blight's right on Eastpool's doorstep. They'd have had to move on before. They'll find a new home. After all. Anyway, what matters is, you managed to nick us one of their and now all that's left.
I didn't know you could carve.
Reckon there's a lot like the fact I'm as good with a whittling knife as I am with... And that bone Ember gave me's a dream to work with. What did you say it was from again? An Avis?
But it weren't your rate. I slew one of my own.
So all those long nights in the pit finally bore fruit.
Don't speak too soon. I ain't done my trial yet.
There we go.
C'est lui que j'ai traîné. C'est lui que j'avais
What do you
accepté son
think?
training.
I think if you ever hang up your scouting cap, you'll be able to...
Oh, will I? I should go and see if Edith...
Give it my best.
You can give it to yourself.
Me lords.
How are you feeling?
Well, thank you. Is something wrong?
Wrong? No.
Go on, please. Did you make...
We did. Aye. It's a good luck charm. We may come up north. I mean, a bit... Oh,
I thank you.
If there's anything you need,
I will.
Fancy a swift off.
I could be convinced.
Gav est en train de tomber amoureux. Il veut le bien de l'enfant, puis il dit qu'il veut être papa puis transmettre ses choses à un kid. Puis élever un kid.
Don't you think you've had enough?
No, we're celebrating. I'm gonna be a father.
I think Edda might have something to say about that.
You know what I mean. Bit of light in these dark times. Wasn't long after me 10th name day. My mum told us she was with child again. I was over the fucking moon. I was looking forward to having a little one to lord it over. What with me being the runt of the litter. Thought I'd finally have a chance to prove to the world that I could be a big brother. Imperials came the day she went into labour. Had myself a baby sister. And then I didn't. My whole family gone in a blink. while I hid in the cellar like the spineless little arsehole I was. Great brother I turned out to be. I'll never be a leader. And I'll never be a hero. I'm just a daft little dog who comes running when his master calls. I'll never be like you, or Sid, or Jill, or even Torgal.
Have you finished?
Maybe.
Do you know why you're our best scout?
Yeah.
Because you don't need anyone to hold your hand. Without your resourcefulness, your courage, your determination, I don't know where we'd be. Maybe hanging off a cliff like,
That was only the once.
Exactly. You learned from it. And here you are after Founder knows how many missions, stronger for everyone. And let's not forget Rosalith. Who was it who freed me from the dungeon? Who was it who ran to Jill's rescue?
That would be me.
Because you're our brother, Gav. My brother.
Your brother.
Which means that when the time comes,
I get your room. And your sword. I may have had one too many.
Oh shit.
you may have had...
I said I would get back to work anyway. Clive?
What is it?
Thanks.
I know.
Det har blivit cross-country. Ooh. Nice. Port Isolde. Det var man söker till. Vad var det här chest?
It's still here. After all these... Lots smaller than I... And you're a lot bigger.
You two go on. I doubt that boat will hold.
If you're sure, hop in, boy. This place hasn't changed at all. The rookery's right through those trees. Come on. Race you there? I bet I could still beat you. Here we are. This was our hideaway. Wasn't it, Torgal? Coming here helped me to forget who I was. Or wasn't. Prince, shield. Son his mother could love. Had I been any one of those things? Perhaps. What is it, boy? This is all from the castle. And Phoenix Gate. Did you bring these here? My sparring sword. Well. You never stopped looking for me. Did you, boy? Thank you, Torgal. For never giving up. For never forgetting. Let's take this with us, shall we? So I don't forget either. That's not the way back to the boat, Torgal. All right. I'm coming. I think I know where we're going. People always talk about the importance of putting the past behind you. But without it, we wouldn't be who we are today. And we certainly couldn't steer our way to a better tomorrow. Come on, Torgal. Let's go home.
Sparring sword accroché dans ma chambre. Yeah. Mais je le porterai pas parce que j'aime mieux booster mes affaires à moi que Torgal. Oh mon dieu, ça paraît tellement mon bronzage d'hôpital. C'est fou.
Sorry for the wait.
Yeah.
We're ready. Means well. After what happened here, it's a miracle there was any left at all.
là.
This should be enough.
On s'en va dans le désert. À Dravost.
Come on.
C'est pas grave si j'arrive de follow. Parce que...
Here we are again.
Allez.
Carava. If you were a tortoise, Torgal, where would you hide?
Je me cracherais près là. Hello, portals.
It looks like we found him.
Ça va se rappeler. Ça n'a aucun bon sens comment que ça fait du dégât, ce combo-là.
I better get these materials to Mid so she can finish her prototype.
Ça n'a aucun esti de bon sens.
Mid?
Aw, you make it sound like I asked you to save the world or something.
Tell me, this is all you need.
It's most of what I need. After you left, I went over the figures again, and I realised I'd forgotten a 1, and a 0, and a cogwheel. Gears that small are a bastard to make, and I...
Wait, the children. Now that I think about it,
The young'uns? But why? I'll keep working on the model. You...
C'est à cause d'une sale cause que j'ai faite plus tôt.
Sid! Is Mid...
she wasn't high. She's just busy work.
A new invention? Is it an...
Do you think she'll let us help?
That just so happens to be why I'm here. A brass gear. That's how...
Oh, the one you...
We saved it, just in case.
Since your lesson, we've been disassembling, then reassembling everything we can find. All the pieces that are left over, we keep under our beds, just in case.
That's good to know.
Look! I found it! Is that all? Just the gear?
That's all for now. But
Thanks, Sid.
Has Midadol mentioned a new project yet?
Well?
they did. And they kept it.
Will it work?
What exactly are you going...
Only the most. The wings aren't going to move on their own. But well. That should do her. Here goes nothing. Titan's tits.
It wasn't supposed to fly, was it?
Of course it was supposed to fly. Wouldn't be much of an airship if it didn't. Honestly, these bloody engines are driving me mad. I was so sure this would be the day she soared. The Mithril engine was made to make dreams come true. But maybe this is one dream the world's better off without. Show folk how to take flying. It won't be long till they're raining death down on each other. People will lose their homes. Children, their mums and their dads. Like I lost mine.
I'm sorry.
So am I, Clive. So am I. Sorry that I have to choose. Do I follow my head, or do I follow my heart?
Good question. The first time I stood on the deck of your ship, felt the wind in my hair. It was like I was flying. But imagine how it would feel to actually do it.
My dad always said there were two ways of living life. Chasing a dream or shuffling to your grave. And he were right. Right about a lot of things. Not that I like to admit it. People need dreams to chase. Especially in a world like this. Right. When this is over, I'm gonna take all my Mithril engines to Zemeckis and sling them over the edge. I won't have my dream end up turning into someone else's nightmare.
But all that hard work...
All that hard work will not be used for war, Jamie. But it ain't like it'll be gone. Tell me, Clive, have you ever been on a treasure hunt?
Not since Joshua and I were boys. Why do you ask?
Because I'm gonna bury the engine schematics and leave behind a little riddle telling people where to find them. A really hard one, so that only the most dedicated dreamers will ever be able to work it out. Ooh, I can picture it now. Some daft general squinting at the words with a gormless expression on his mug. Like that one, yeah.
Right.
C'est tellement la meilleure tune du village, est-ce qu'il faut que je la remette? C'est vraiment la meilleure tune.
Of course, if I'm putting this engine at the end of a treasure hunt, won't be much of a prize if it couldn't... But it ain't the size of a dream that's important, is it, Clive? And I reckon I've got a fair few good...
I'm sure you do.
Nice. C'est frais, j'ai plein de side quests là-bas. Meet Harville at the gates of Randala. Oh oui, c'est lui qui veut faire l'union des villages, l'union de ces pays.
Do you see that too?
What is it?
Please, just make it stop. I'm scared.
It's all right. I'm here.
Shit. Viens-t'en, poulet. Ah, peut-être.
Ready, go?
Ouais, ça va là. On s'en fout. Ouh.
Can't be Rutherford, can it?
Turncoats and cowards, the lot of you!
Allow me.
I don't need... Please, Field Marshal.
This won't take long.
You're right. It won't. Men, finish him.
A little longer than I'd have liked. Field Marshal Havel, I presume.
Oh my God.
Are either of you injured?
No, my lord. You arrived just as our escort turned on us.
Fucking traitors. I'd heard reports of soldiers in the outlying regions about, but I hadn't thought the corruption had... It's a fucking... Your interfering old bastard of an uncle tried to... My lord, or is Sid the outlaw more...
Call me what you want. It doesn't change all the urgency of the message I bring. My uncle has a plan to right the...
Before I agree... I'd have you answer one. What do you stand to gain from...
I won't deny that I might benefit from further chaos. But I seek a new beginning for all of us. And while the choices I've made may not always have been the right, I know. For so long. So many of us have been when it should have been our decision all along. But in order to take it, we must stand together. Even if it...
Certainly not the words I expected from an outlaw. You are no... I never hear the end of this. All right. I'll start by ordering my most trusted. Next, I'll make contact with my counterparts in the Imperial Army and see if I can't convince them...
Thank you, Field.
But they are not the only ones.
What do you mean?
I don't doubt that I can bully some sense into a few generals. But those they aren't, we will need an envoy. One who can court even...
I'm flattered, and I have other problems to it. What we need is a skilled arbitrator.
Is that so? And would he have...
Of a different kind.
I suppose we'll all have to find a little of the outlaw in ourselves if we're to make it through this.
I shall.
My Lord Marquis, your Lord Uncle bade me escort the Field Marshal to his manor in...
And I will see that my associate...
Very good.
An envoy. I can barely convince my brother to take his medicine. Someone like Quentin.
Faster!
That'll do, girl. Quentin.
Do you now? Something tells me you'll... Go on, then. You'd have me convince the chiefs and do the one thing that has proved impossible.
I know it's a lot to ask.
And you'd have me give up what the people of Lostwing are my... You'll have to find someone else.
I'm sorry to...
And why might that be?
What he's asking. As they want you to speak for those who can't speak for themselves. That's what you... If it's the vineyard, we'll see that the grapes are picked and the tons filled. You know...
It's not that.
Then what is it? You said just...
You know that.
Then what are you? That only we are worth saving. Why turn your back on everyone else? You convinced... Who's to say you couldn't convince...
A stirring... I fear that any rejoinder I make might fall somewhat flat.
So you'll join us? Field Marshal Havel will want to speak with you in person. I can arrange for a party of Cursebreakers to accompany you.
That would be very much... I hear the roads are far from safe these days.
Hopefully not. My uncle will want to know that his plan is taking shape. Uncle, I bring... The Field Marshal has agreed...
Of course he has.
Rutherford is accompanying him back to your manor in Portazol. They will await your return there.
One other?
Lord Havel was concerned that even if he could get the realm's armies to agree to an accord, he asked if I might have a solution. And I said,
one of
Master Quinton would probably call
another out. Just the thing we need to put these rotten. Good thinking, Clive.
I'm glad you approve.
The more the merrier.
Uncle, assuming Havel and Quinton can solve, you still haven't mentioned how we might...
Oh, don't. The Seven High House. They have all agreed to make the most... Oh, of course, it did take a little. But luckily I had some...
From who?
Why, you, my boy. Rumour has it that you rescued the Lady Ariane's...
It was more of a hat.
Well, the old battle axe was so pleased. She had a shipload of talents delivered to my private docks, and when the other houses saw the parsimonious old crone's purse strings finally loosen, they as good as tripped over themselves in the rush to...
I'm happy to hear it.
Now, I must be getting back to the manor. Join us there at your earliest...
Of course, Uncle.
And how, pray tell, will we get that grain to the capital if the roads are still overrun with Akashic?
You'll find another bloody road. I only have so many men, and I'm not about to send them headlong into an ether flood. That is, unless you'd have them turn as well.
Well, I'd certainly eat less.
Says the man with a belly bigger than a band of curls. My soldiers actually need their rations. Without any food to keep them, they'll be dead even before...
If I may, gentlemen, perhaps I might suggest, though supply routes are indeed disrupted, there is no shortage of ships. Indeed, they bob away in every bay from here. Allow them to make port and fill their bellies full of grain. And once those who crowd the cities are fed, ferry the displaced back. But I'm sure that you wish to two such firm friends as yourselves need no help from the likes of me. Rutherford spoke fondly of the great bond.
Us? I can't stand...
Clive, I'm beginning to question the...
And what kind of company do you expect?
Criminal? How? You are not fit to breathe the same air as this fine, upstanding young gentleman.
Upstanding? He calls...
Once more unto the...
Shall we begin again? What we seek here is not to create a new nation, nor to claim. We wish simply to bring stability to the realm that mankind might weather the current. And to do that, we must convince those in power. There will be disagreements, yes. And I imagine some... If we show them the path, show them that we walk it ourselves, then the fate of the world lies in my nephew, but the well-being of her people lies in ours. And we must not squander the chance that Clive...
Uncle Byron,
Now, with that settled, let's move on. For what great moment in history hasn't... Citizens of Valisthea! Well, my boy.
That it is.
This is the role you were born for. We shall play our parts to the best of our abilities. That the realm needs its Sir Crandall. And there is no better Crandall than you, Clive. I want you to keep this signed accord as proof of our faith in you.
I will. Thank you, Uncle.
Level up. Order.
Your Grace?
Cyril.
Yes.
if you would do us the honor.
An inheritance.
It would seem the late Archduke penned this missive
the day before we left for Finn.
What are these plans he spoke of?
His plans for the duchy, Your Grace. Your father entrusted them to my predecessor, the former bearer of the Burning Quill, who entrusted them in turn to me. The complete emancipation of bearers is that your father's dream did not end there. His Grace also spoke of building hospices to care for those stricken with the blight spreading ever more widely across the twins. Archduke...
He wished to see men and bearers treated as equals. Small wonder he did not think it achievable within his lifetime.
But he thought it achievable nonetheless. Had he not, nor would he have entrusted his vision to his most faithful aides. Those who would have stood with you, shielded you.
It's a pity.
'Tis true that those most loyal to your father were the first to suffer the Duchess's wrath. But one at least remains. And she has come.
What do you mean?
Mayhap it is better, after all. The duties entrusted to me by my predecessor.
And where is this?
She awaits you in the...
Thank you, Cyril. Shall we then?
On est à la bonne place.
My lord, your great... I am Goditha, retainer of House Rosfield. Your father, the Archduke Elwyn, entrusted me with the delivery of a gift.
Lift up your head, lady. You have our gratitude.
I merely did my duty.
My lady.
What exactly?
As I'm sure you know, it has long been the custom.
Indeed it has.
And had he lived to see it, he would have presented you with the treasures I bear. Alas, he did not live. He had intended to claim the Heartstone with which each armband was to be finished, but it was not to be.
I see.
It saddens me to bring... It was your father's wish that you be present, but with his grace long since gone, and the stone left. You are grown men now, and while I would not presume to insist upon your claiming the Heartstone I know that nothing...
Thank you.
What say you?
What else? Of course, my lady.
Oh, I am much...
Do you know where we might find this?
I do. It is found in the bellies of... We do at least know where to find one.
A certain spec?
You are most perceptive. In fact, this is the very same beast your father meant to slay. I have been tracking it. Were you to slay it in his stead, as men of House Rosfield?
What say you, Joe?
What else?
Oh, que je m'en vais péter un griffon, mes amis. Oh, que je m'en vais péter un griffon.
Eyes peeled, Joshua.
There it is.
For House Rossfield. Is this the Heartstone?
I expect Lady Goditha will know.
Griffin.
And the heart.
Yes. This radiant luster, like frozen flame. It is just as your father. Thank you. Your father.
Lady God.
Thank you, Cyril. If you would excuse me. The armbands are prey. Heartstone is harder and more enduring than garnet, or even ruby. And the graven vines encircling...
It's a message. Father, enemies who would thwart his vision.
And only if we stood together. As Phoenix and she...
Indeed. But this was more... It was a promise.
Thank you for remaining the steadfast...
Forgive me, my lady. There is something I don't quite... The Undying told me that after Father died, Mother claimed, even if the armbands were incomplete. So...
Because I was the keeper of the vault. Though I was but a lowly of the deep love he had for both of... In the days before the disaster at Phoenix Gate, I discovered that the Duchess had ordered her jewel. I tried to warn your father, but when word of the fire reached Rosalith, I knew my time was short.
And thank the Fount.
Yet my duty to your father was incomplete. Not no, and so my pursuit continued. He informed me that His Grace's will had been recovered. And that is...
Lady Goditha, on behalf of my father...
As do I.
Thank you, my lord. Your Grace, for coming back to us. For giving my servant...
the bands suit you well. It must be gratifying to finally...
It is.
If you would permit me to play, let him see that you...
I suppose it would. What do you say, Clive?
I was hoping...
Your father's help since the day we I prithee, claim it. And I do not doubt that your...
Thank you, Cyril. Come on, Clive.
Let's go.
Yeah! Unwavering will and an unbreakable bond. Do you really think we're strong enough?
To save the world? Of course. To have overcome Father's political enemies? Of that I'm less certain. Especially knowing what we know now. What Mother was truly capable of. Perhaps these bands would have helped. Knowing he was with us would have made all the difference.
It's just back there. Father always fought for what he believed was right. It wasn't until that night at Phoenix Gate that I realized I had never fought for anything. I always had someone else to do the fighting for me.
No matter how fate conspired against him, he never lost heart, never looked back, never stopped fighting. To me, he was the greatest of men. I've been trying to live up to his ideals ever since.
We all have, Clive. We all have. And we'll keep trying. Because that's what he would have wanted.
What he would have done himself. Even if it meant standing against the very gods in the heavens.
I shall be borrowing this, Father, if I may. That you might watch over us. As we follow in your footsteps.
We won't lay you down.
Onward then?
Onward. To the end.
And to a new beginning.
Nice. Mais il est pas mal dans mon party depuis tantôt. Je dis ça de même, je dis ça, je dis rien. Bon, et l'autre side quest qui s'amène. Ça arrêtera jamais. J'adore tellement cette chanson.
If Joshua's worried about Jill, I should go and speak with him.
Ça va être tout pour moi. Je suis fatigué. On va enregistrer. Non, jusqu'à l'heure. Jusqu'à ce même l'heure.